Welcome to this complete troubleshooting masterclass on Windows error 0x80070005. Access denied. Have you ever tried installing a Windows update only to see the installation fail with the message 0x80070005? Many users immediately think Windows is corrupted, but in reality, this error usually means that Windows or one of its components doesn't have permission to complete an operation. In this masterclass, you'll learn what this error means, why it occurs during Windows Update, how to identify the root cause, and how to resolve it using professional troubleshooting techniques. Let's begin by understanding what access denied really means. Error 0x80070005 translates to access denied. During a Windows update, Windows must download update packages, create temporary files, stop and start services, replace protected system files, and update the operating system. If Windows cannot access a required file, folder, registry key, or service because of permission issues, the update process may stop and display error 0x80070005. The error itself doesn't identify the exact cause, it simply indicates that access to a required resource was denied. That's why a structured investigation is essential. Before troubleshooting, it's helpful to understand the Windows update process. First, Windows checks Microsoft's update servers for available updates. It then downloads the required packages to a temporary storage location. Windows verifies the integrity of the downloaded files, prepares the installation, updates system components, and finally completes the installation after a restart if required. Every stage depends on the correct permissions for files, folders, services, and the Windows update infrastructure. If access is blocked at any point, the update can fail with an access denied error. Although this course focuses on Windows Update, error 0x80070005 can appear in many different Windows components. You may encounter it during application installation, Windows activation, Microsoft Store operations, scheduled tasks, or device management. In every case, the common theme is that Windows cannot access something it needs. Understanding this pattern helps you recognize similar issues in other scenarios, even outside Windows Update. Throughout this course, we'll follow a structured learning path. First, we'll understand the common root causes behind error 0x80070005. Next, we'll perform step-by-step troubleshooting using built-in Windows tools. Finally, we'll review real-world examples, best practices, and prevention techniques used by IT professionals. By the end of this masterclass, you'll have a repeatable troubleshooting process that you can apply confidently. In this module, we've learned what error 0x80070005 means, why Windows reports access denied, and how the Windows update process works. We also saw that the same error code can appear in different Windows components. Even though this course focuses specifically on Windows Update, in the next module, we'll investigate the most common root causes behind this error and learn how to recognize each one before attempting a fix. In Module 1, we learned that error 0x80070005 means access denied. But what exactly is Windows trying to access? During a Windows update, the operating system needs permission to create temporary files, modify protected system folders, update the Windows registry, communicate with Windows services, and replace system components. If any one of these operations is blocked, Windows immediately stops the update process and returns error 0x80070005. Instead of applying random fixes, our goal is to identify which permission or component is preventing the update. One of the most common causes of error 0x80070005 is corruption within the Windows Update components. Windows Update depends on several folders and services to download, verify, and install updates. If downloaded update files become damaged or incomplete, Windows may fail when attempting to continue the installation. Interruptions such as unexpected shutdowns, storage issues, or previous failed updates can leave these components in an inconsistent state. Understanding this possibility helps explain why simply retrying the update often produces the same error. Windows protects important files and folders using security permissions. During an update, Windows installer and other trusted components require access to these protected resources. If permissions have been modified, damaged, or inherited incorrectly, Windows may be unable to complete the installation. Permission issues can affect folders, registry keys, scheduled tasks, or update-related directories. Because error 0x80070005 literally means access denied, permission problems are always an important area to investigate. Another possible cause is interference from security software. Antivirus, endpoint protection platforms, or security policies may temporarily block files, services, or update operations while scanning for threats. In enterprise environments, additional security controls can also affect Windows update behavior. This doesn't necessarily indicate a problem with the security software. Instead, it highlights the importance of understanding how different security layers interact with the operating system during updates. Windows Update depends on several background services working together. These services handle downloading updates, verifying packages, transferring files, and completing installations. If one of these services is stopped unexpectedly, configured incorrectly, or unable to start, the update process may fail. Rather than focusing only on the visible error code, experienced administrators verify that all required services are operating normally before continuing with deeper troubleshooting. Let's summarize the most common causes of error 0x80070005 during Windows Update. Corrupted Windows Update components can interrupt installation. Permission problems can prevent Windows from accessing required resources. Security software may temporarily block update operations. Windows services may not be functioning correctly. Understanding these possibilities allows you to investigate the right area instead of applying unnecessary fixes. In the next module, we'll perform a complete hands-on troubleshooting walkthrough using built-in Windows tools and administrator techniques. Now it's time to move from theory to practice. Before running advanced commands, perform a few basic checks. Confirm that you're signed in with an account that has administrator privileges. Verify that the system drive has enough free disk space for Windows Update. Check the system, date, time, and time zone. Incorrect time settings can affect secure communication during update operations. Finally, restart the computer if it hasn't been restarted recently. Sometimes pending operations prevent Windows Update from completing successfully. Windows includes a built-in update troubleshooter that can automatically detect and repair common update problems. Open the Windows Troubleshoot settings and run the Windows Update Troubleshooter. It checks update components, verifies services, and attempts to repair common configuration issues after the troubleshooter completes. Restart the computer and try Windows Update again. If the error persists, continue with manual troubleshooting. Windows Update depends on several background services. Open the Services Management console and verify that Windows Update, Background Intelligent Transfer Service, Cryptographic Services, and Windows Installer are available and functioning correctly. If a required service is disabled or fails to start, Windows Update may not complete successfully. Record any service errors before making changes, as they can provide valuable troubleshooting information. If the update components are damaged, resetting them can resolve many update failures. This process typically involves stopping update-related services, clearing the software distribution and cat2 cache folders, and restarting the required services. Resetting these components forces Windows Update to rebuild its working files. After the reset, restart the computer and check for updates again. Always document the actions you perform so they can be repeated if necessary. Corrupted system files can prevent Windows Update from accessing protected operating system components. Use the built-in Windows repair tools to verify and repair system integrity. First, run System File Checker, then use Deployment Image Servicing and Management, commonly known as DISM, to repair the Windows image if required. These tools help restore damaged operating system files that may be contributing to update failures. After the repair completes, restart the computer before checking for updates again. If the problem still exists, review the available diagnostic information. Windows Update logs and event viewer can help identify where the installation process stopped. Look for repeated errors, permission-related messages, or failures that occur at the same stage during every update attempt. Recording the time of the failure makes it much easier to match events with the update process. Diagnostic information often reveals the underlying issue more accurately than the visible error code. After completing the required repairs, restart the computer and check Windows Update again. If the update installs successfully, verify that no additional updates are pending. Review the update history to confirm the installation completed without errors. Finally, document the root cause and the solution used. Good documentation helps reduce future troubleshooting time and improves knowledge sharing across IT teams. By this stage, you've already verified Windows Update services, reset update components, repaired system files, and reviewed diagnostic logs. If error 0x80070005 still appears, avoid repeating the same troubleshooting steps. Instead, investigate deeper, check whether the issue affects only one computer or multiple devices. If several systems show the same behavior, the problem could be related to a common policy, security configuration, or deployment image. If only one computer is affected, compare it with a working device to identify differences in configuration, installed software, or security settings. Enterprise troubleshooting is about gathering evidence and comparing systems, not guessing. In enterprise environments, error 0x80070005 often appears because of environmental changes rather than Windows itself. For example, an endpoint security product may block access to update files. A group policy may unintentionally restrict required permissions. A deployment image may contain incorrect configurations that affect every newly deployed device. Sometimes administrators manually modify permissions on protected Windows folders or registry keys, leading to unexpected update failures. Understanding these scenarios helps you focus your investigation on the most likely cause instead of applying unnecessary fixes. Prevention is always better than recovery. Keep Windows updated regularly instead of delaying updates for long periods. Avoid manually changing permissions on protected Windows folders and registry keys. Test updates on a small pilot group before deploying them to all devices. Maintain healthy storage space and regularly review event logs for early warning signs. Most importantly, document every administrative change so that future troubleshooting becomes easier. A disciplined maintenance strategy significantly reduces update failures. Successful administrators don't memorize hundreds of fixes, they follow a repeatable troubleshooting process. First, understand the problem. Next, collect evidence, verify the root cause. Apply one change at a time, test the result. Finally, document the solution. This structured methodology works not only for error 0x80070005, but for many Windows, Microsoft Intune, and enterprise management issues. Congratulations on completing this masterclass on Windows Update error 0x80070005, access denied. Throughout this course, you've learned what the error means, how Windows Update works, the most common root causes, and a structured troubleshooting process used by IT professionals. You also explored advanced investigation techniques and preventive best practices that help reduce future update failures. Remember, the error code is only the starting point. The real skill is identifying the underlying cause through careful investigation and logical troubleshooting. If you found this training helpful, subscribe for more in-depth tutorials on Windows, Microsoft Intune, MECM, SCCM, Windows Autopilot, and Enterprise Endpoint Management. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next troubleshooting masterclass.